If you're trying to conceive, there's a habit that could be working against you right now, even if you've already switched to what you think is a safer option. Smoking doesn't just age your lungs and heart, it ages your ovaries. It fragments the DNA inside sperm. And vaping, the alternative millions of people switched to believing it was harmless, is not the safe escape hatch it's marketed to be. In the next few minutes, we're going through exactly what happens inside the body, at the cellular level, when someone smokes or vapes while trying to conceive. Not vague warnings, the actual mechanisms. Because understanding why something is harmful is what makes people actually change the habit. Let's start with male fertility, because the research here is the most extensive. Cigarette smoke floods the body with free radicals, unstable molecules that trigger something called oxidative stress. Sperm cells are especially vulnerable to this because their membranes are packed with fatty acids that react easily with these free radicals. The result is direct damage to sperm DNA, proteins, and the outer membrane of the cell. This isn't just about sperm count going down, although it does. It's about the quality of the genetic material inside each sperm cell. Damaged DNA in sperm is linked to lower fertilization rates, poorer embryo development, and higher miscarriage risk even when conception does happen. On top of that, cigarettes deliver heavy metals like cadmium and lead directly into the bloodstream. These metals accumulate in reproductive tissue and further impair sperm production, a process called spermatogenesis. Here's a detail worth remembering. Spermatogenesis, the full cycle of producing a mature sperm cell, takes roughly 74 to 90 days. That means the sperm being damaged today reflects toxin exposure from the last 3 months. It also means recovery isn't instant. If someone quits smoking, meaningful improvement in sperm quality typically takes about that same 3-month window to show up. Now here's where it gets interesting, because a lot of people watching this switched from cigarettes to vaping, specifically because they thought it was a safer choice for their fertility. A 2025 study published in Scientific Reports followed men undergoing IVF, comparing those who exclusively vaped against those who exclusively smoked cigarettes. The vaping group showed better progressive sperm motility and a notably higher live birth rate, 56% compared to 41% in the smoking group. That sounds like good news for vaping, but here's the catch, and it's an important one. This study compared vapors to smokers. It did not include a non-smoking control group. So what this tells us is that vaping may be less harmful than smoking, not that vaping is harmless. Animal studies help fill that gap. Research on e-cigarette vapor exposure has shown disruption to the hormonal signaling between the brain and the testes, increased cell death in the early stages of sperm production, and structural changes to testicular tissue. E-cigarettes do contain fewer toxic compounds than traditional cigarettes, but fewer isn't zero. So if you're choosing between smoking and vaping, the evidence suggests vaping causes comparatively less damage. But if you're choosing between vaping and not vaping at all while trying to conceive, the evidence says quitting entirely is still the better choice. Fertility isn't only about sperm. Smoking has a direct and well-documented impact on the female reproductive system too. One of the clearest effects is accelerated ovarian aging. Women who smoke tend to reach menopause 1 to 4 years earlier than non-smokers, on average. That's not a coincidence. Toxins from tobacco, including nicotine, cadmium, and aromatic hydrocarbons, act directly on the ovarian follicles, the structures that house and mature each egg. Damage here means a faster decline in both egg quantity and egg quality over time. Smoking also affects blood flow to the uterus, which matters for a process most people don't think about: implantation. Even if fertilization happens successfully, an embryo needs a receptive, well-supplied uterine lining to implant and grow. Reduced blood flow to the endometrium makes that process less reliable. Vaping in women follows a similar pattern to what we saw in men. Less studied than smoking, but early evidence points to disrupted follicular development and effects on egg quality through similar oxidative stress pathways. For couples going through assisted reproduction, these effects become measurable in a very concrete way. Smoking is consistently associated with lower egg retrieval numbers, reduced fertilization rates, lower implantation rates, and lower live birth rates in IVF cycles. Every stage of the process, from the eggs retrieved to the embryo that implants, is affected by the same underlying damage we've already talked about: oxidative stress, DNA fragmentation, and reduced blood flow. This is precisely why most fertility clinics will ask patients to quit smoking and ideally vaping before starting treatment. It's not a moral judgment. It's because the data shows it directly improves the odds of a treatment succeeding. Here's the part that should feel encouraging. A lot of this damage is not permanent. For sperm, remember that 74 to 90-day production cycle? Quit smoking or vaping today, and by around the 3-month mark, new sperm being produced will reflect the body that's no longer being exposed to those toxins. For women, the picture is more nuanced. Egg quantity, the total number of eggs a woman has, can't be restored once lost, since women are born with all the eggs they'll ever have. But quitting smoking can still improve blood flow to reproductive organs, reduce ongoing oxidative stress, and improve the environment eggs are developing in, which matters for the eggs that are still maturing. In both cases, the message from the research is consistent. The sooner someone quits, the more time the body has to recover before conception is attempted. To sum up what we've covered, smoking damages fertility through oxidative stress, heavy metal exposure, and direct harm to reproductive tissue in both men and women. Vaping causes many of the same problems through similar pathways, just at a lower intensity than cigarettes, not at zero. If you or your partner are trying to conceive, quitting either habit is one of the most direct, evidence-based steps you can take to improve your chances, whether you're conceiving naturally or going through fertility treatment. If this helped clarify things, consider subscribing for more evidence-based reproductive health content. And if you have questions about your own situation, please bring them to a fertility specialist who can give you guidance specific to your health history. Thanks for watching, and take care of yourselves.